So my conversion, my vocation story is a little bit shorter, but basically I felt more and more that God was asking for everything, that he wanted my undivided heart. So eventually I told a priest friend of mine what I was thinking. He said, well, why don't you call up, the Sister Catherine Marie. She's the vocation directress for the Nashville Dominicans, and she might be someone to talk to. Like, oh, okay. So I kind of put it off for a couple of weeks, and finally I got up the courage and picked up my phone. I'm like, hi, well, I just became Catholic. I'm a baby Catholic, and I just want to know more about being a sister. Okay, bye. Oh, and my phone number is, okay. And I hang it up, and I felt like, I did my part. If God wants me, he has to come and get me. I did my part. It's all done. Next thing you know, I'm sitting in my dorm room in college, and the phone rings, and I pick it up. Hello? This is Sister Margaret Andrew. Who is this person with a southern accent? This is so weird. I didn't expect her to have a southern accent. And we start talking, and I'm really, really nervous. But the next thing you know, she tells me she's a convert, and she tells me her whole story, how she became Catholic, and then her brother became Catholic, and then her mom and dad became Catholic, and then her brother became a priest, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, there's hope for my family, and converts can become sisters, really? I was really excited. And so then she's like, well, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm doing something. Nothing. And so she's like, well, why don't you come down to our school in Baltimore, Mount DeSales, where I teach, and you can talk with the vocation directress. It just so happens that she's in town for the March for Life. And okay, so I drive down to the Mount DeSales school in my car with 42 bumper stickers, completely pro-life and totally Catholic, and all these rosaries hanging in the front. And I'm sure the sisters were looking out the window like, who is this weirdo? And I walk in the door, I'm like, hi, I'm baptismal name, and I said, I'm looking for a religious order that has 3 things, and if you don't have those 3 things, then there's not really any reason for us to continue this conversation. So she's kind of like, because I guess she expected to be interviewing me, whereas I wanted to interview her. It's like, okay, well, these are the 3 things I'm looking for, and like I said, if you don't have them, then there's no reason to continue this. But number 1, I'm looking for an order that the source and summit of their life is the Holy Eucharist. I became Catholic so that I could receive Holy Communion, God into my soul. So I want an order, a religious community where the Mass is the highlight of their day, of their life, that everything revolves around the Holy Sacrifice. Secondly, I'm looking for an order that has a great devotion to Our Lady, because I really believe that it was Mary who led me to the Catholic Church, and I believe that she always leads us closer to her Son. So I want an order that wears the rosary, that prays the rosary as a community, that just has a true devotion to Mary. Thirdly, I'm looking for an order that loves the Holy Father, that treasures all the teachings of the Church, that's really an ecclesial community at the heart of the Church, and just really wants to proclaim the teachings of the faith, because I became Catholic for the teachings of the Catholic faith, and it was such a gift to me to be given that gift of the gift of faith. So I want to proclaim that to the world, to evangelize, and just to lead others to Christ in how I wish and how I had been received into the faith. And so she looked at me and she smiled and she said, we have all those things. I said, okay, good, then maybe I'll come down and visit or something like that. And so a couple of years later, I went down to the Mother House, and it was love at first sight. And so I entered in, one more little story. So then I had $30,000 in college debt to pay off. And so I was accepted on the Feast of Our Lady of the Rosary on October 7th in 2002, and I wanted to enter in August 2003. So it was almost a year there that I knew I had to pay off these debts if I really wanted to enter the convent that year. So I worked as hard as I could, and still it was just like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars short. So one of the sisters suggested praying a 54-day rosary novena, very Dominican prayer. So it's like, okay, that's quite a commitment, 54 days. So I'd start it, and then I'd give up and stop, and then I'd start it again. Finally, I was like, okay, that's it. I'm starting it. I'm going to keep to this. I'm going to pray it, and if it's God's will, I will get the money and I can enter. So I started praying it, and fast forward, money kept coming into this foundation called the Labouré Foundation, which is interesting because it was St. Catherine Labouré who this foundation was named for. It was the one, I believe, that was prayed me into the church, because that's where I decided to become Catholic. And so I kept receiving more and more money, donations from people, even friends that were not Catholic, and people that didn't even know me would read about my story and send money in. So the next thing you know, on August 7th, which is the vigil of the Feast of St. Dominic, it was the last day of my rosary novena. I was crossing my fingers, and that night, a priest friend called me up and said, whatever you have left, I don't care how much it is, I will pay off the rest. Yes! You know? So I called up Sister Catherine, I'm like, I'm coming! And so that was August 7th, and then on August 14th, I entered the convent as a postulant. And I had a postulant year, and then I had a novice year, and then I made my first vows. And now it's been about 2 years since then, and here I am. And just one little message to you all. I think the most important thing for me is just that, you know, you all have made such a significant decision in becoming Catholic. And I'm just so happy for all of you. I love converts, and it's so exciting for you all to have joined the faith. And it's really the best decision I ever made. I've never had any regrets about becoming Catholic. I remember before I became Catholic, I thought, wow, I don't know if I can make the commitment to go to Mass every Sunday for the rest of my life. That's huge. And now here I am going to Mass every day, and I'd go every minute if I could. And, you know, I'm living the beautiful life we have at St. Cecilia, so much prayer, and it's just like more is better when it comes to the faith. It's just such a gift, and it's so rich. And you've just made the best decision you've ever made, and you will not regret it. And there's so many gifts and graces in the faith that I hope you can discover. Thank you.